I'm going to continue working on the same instrument here, and we're going to take a look at making use of LFOs for modulation. Alright, so I have brought down the modulation amount for the envelope that's affecting the cutoff. So it's still here, but we're not going to hear it affect the cutoff. I'm going to right-click the cutoff, and this time, under LFOs, I'm going to pick one of these options. So these are the different LFO waveforms. Let's start off with a simple sine wave. Alright, so the modulation amount is set to 100%. Let's click over here to scroll down to take a look at the actual LFO. And here we have the LFO. The controls are fairly simple and straightforward. Frequency gets pretty fast. You can add a fade in, so the modulation does not kick in immediately. Kind of fades in. And you can also adjust the phase. So where exactly in the phase of the LFO you want to start the modulation. Going back up, you can see the modulation affecting the cutoff knob. I can tone it down a bit. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Now, even though we chose sine, I can click over here and quickly swap out to any of the other shapes. Now, most of these are fairly straightforward to use, but let's check out the multi one. This one is pretty interesting. Now, what we have here is a combination of all the existing waveforms, sine wave, triangle, rectangle, sawtooth, and random, and we can choose some mix and match to create our resulting shape. Let me get rid of the fade here, and let's set the phase back to 0. So right now we're just hearing the sine. What if I superimpose a triangle on top of it? That's interesting. Getting like a shark fin-like shape. How about adding in a rectangle on top of that? Normalized levels is on, so the combination of all these waveforms is not going to go beyond the range of the entire waveform. If I turn that off, it might get louder. I'll leave it on. Let's bring in a sawtooth as well. And by the way, you can also have a negative amount. So it's going to be a phase inverted sawtooth. And let's also add some randomization. So it's a random LFO shape. And that's very, very cool. It's almost like drawing a customized LFO shape. Now, since we have the envelope as well, why not activate both simultaneously? Some pretty wild movement there on the cutoff. And LFOs are not just for modulating the filter cutoff. We can assign to any other parameter, like maybe the tuning. I can right-click on the tune knob here, choose a different LFO. Let's go for a rectangle this time. Let's tone down these modulations so we can focus on the pitch modulation here. So that's set to 2 semitones. Let's crank it up to 12, which is the maximum. And it is polyphonic, right? Because retrigger is on. That sounds pretty cool. Let's bring in the other modulators on the filter cutoff. That sounds pretty wild. Now, wherever you see a rate control, like going back down to the 2 LFOs we're using here, so the rate here, or the frequency, is set in Hertz, but I can click on Hertz here and switch to any of these musical synced options. So let's say an 8th note. Let's sync this one as well. Let's go for a slower rate, maybe half. We can further subdivide it. Pretty cool. So that's how you can use LFOs to introduce modulation in Kontakt.